Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. We have another fun fall video for you today. But before we get to it, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Brenda and this is my Sleepy Oliver. And if you're returning, you know we love you. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting.
Okay, DIY number one. So I'm going to take two of the wood hanging signs from Dollar Tree. I'm going to connect them together like I always do using these jumbo craft sticks, wood glue, and hot glue. Then I'm going to paint both sides with my Waverly chalk paint in the color Ivory. And once it was all dry, I'm going to take my Mod Podge and I'm going to brush it down the bottom part of my sign. And then I'm also going to use some of it on about an inch of it at the top of my sign, or should I say, I'm going to use it on the first inch of the top. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to take this napkin. I think I got this at Dollar General a few years back, and I am going to use a wet paintbrush to kind of go around my image here. That way it's easy to tear that top part of that napkin off because I don't really need to see it and we don't want to have that part. So once I had that all torn off, I took the top part of that napkin and I'm going to just take off this border. I'm just going to cut it right off. And then I'm going to remove the ply from both of those. It was just a single ply napkin. And I'm going to lay the bigger part with the pumpkins down on the bottom of my sign. I'm going to cover it with parchment paper here. And then I'm going to go over it with my heat press. And if you're not familiar with this technique, the parchment paper protects that napkin, and then the heat press, it reactivates the Mod Podge so that the napkin sticks. If you don't have a miniature heat press like this, you can use an iron as long as you don't have it on steam. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that trim, and I'm going to put this at the top of my sign, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing. That is the last time I used that parchment paper. It's looking pretty worn there. Then I went over both napkin pieces with a little bit of Mod Podge. You want to do this lightly so it doesn't wrinkle. Then I took my Dusk by Waverly. I found this scripture on Cricut Design Space, and I printed it out on my stencil vinyl. And I am just going to dab the dusk color all over my stencil. And once I was done, I used my heat gun there to dry it. And I find that when I use that, it does not pull up the paint when I'm pulling off the vinyl. Before, I was doing it while it was still wet and it always pulled up my paint. But this way it seems to not do that. So then I went ahead and removed all of that vinyl, and then I am going to take my little sanding finger sander here, and I'm going to sand around all the excess of that napkin that was hanging over the edges. And then I just went ahead and added Mod Podge for the rest of the sign, just because you could kind of see where the Mod Podge was from where I put the napkins. So I wanted it to have a uniform look. So I'm using my weeding tool there to poke the holes in that napkin where the holes were because the napkin was covering it. Then I'm just going to take some twine. I put some tape on the end, string it all through, tie knots on the back for a hanger. And really, that's all there is for this one. And I really like this one. I just think it just turned out beautifully. I hope you do too. Let me know in the comment box below.
So how's everyone's September starting out? I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're all ready for the cold weather. His tongue is cold. It must be cold. My poor puppy got sick on me a week and a half ago and was throwing up and had bloody stools and was not doing well. Had me up most of the night going outside, standing with him. It was miserable. I knew he was miserable, which made me sad, but it was miserable because I was so tired. And but we got him to the vets. They got him some antibiotics and some fluids, and he's perking up. But he's he had me. Oh, he's a stinker too. Let me tell you, giving him his antibiotics. He at first I put it in some peanut butter, gave it to him, no problem. Well, he figured it out. And after that, I'd give him the peanut butter and he'd turn his head. And I'm like, oh, great, he's figured it out. So Then I tried to give it to him in cheese, and I tried to give it to him in chicken. I made him chicken and rice because sometimes he gets pancreatitis. And when that happens, we have to give him just chicken and rice. That's all he can eat. He wouldn't even eat that. I think that's the farmer's dog food that has spoiled him and made him think that chicken and rice is just too bland or something. But I just kept trying all these things to put in, and finally I just kind of had to start crushing it and mixing it in the peanut butter and stuffing it in his throat and closing his nose and making him take it. But he's a smarty. They gave him an anti-nausea pill, and I ended up finding that on my bed because he cheeked it and then spit it out when I thought it was swallowed. But anyways, he's on the mend. We're doing good. So far, September is doing good. Our weather has cooled down. I don't think I'll be going in the pool anymore this year. It's getting a little too chilly, the water is. But I'm enjoying it. I feel like it went by way too fast, though. I really feel like summer just was barely here, and now it's on its way out. But I am enjoying the cooler weather on a different aspect, just because it does make me feel more like it's fall. I got my fall candles out like I showed you guys earlier, and I just love the smells of fall. I love walking into Hobby Lobby right now because the smell there is just amazing. And you guys, I have to tell you, I was there the other day and I saw they had all their Christmas trees set up, and I was just like, oh, and I sent my husband a picture of it, and I said, I just want to take a chair and sit right there and just stay there and savor it all. And then I was walking by and saw one of the workers, and I stopped her. I said, do you happen to have a cot so I can just put it over there and just stay there? And she laughed. But that's how I feel this time of year with Hobby Lobby. I love going in, seeing all the fall stuff, and then going right over and seeing all the Christmas stuff, because these are my two favorite seasons. And yeah, so I call Hobby Lobby my happy place, and a lot of it is because of fall and Christmas, really. Anyways, so yeah, that's what September is like for me. But I hope you guys are all doing well and enjoying the first week of September. And if you are enjoying this video, I would love it if you'd hit that red subscribe button and become part of our YouTube family as well. And then make sure you comment. Let me know you're new here. I'd love to get to know you. And you guys give me that thumbs up. Share this video for those who you think might enjoy it. I would love that. And with all of that, you guys, let's continue on with the video.
Okay, DIY number 2. So I'm going to take some of these chenille stems. I got these from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to take one. I'm going to fold it in half, just like you see. I'm going to fold it in half again, and I'm going to turn it upside down. And I'm going to take that second one, fold it in half, and then I'm going to run it through the top part of that, the first one that I folded. I'm going to twist it around 2 or 3 times here, and then I'm going to take those legs and bring one down on each side of the middle part there, just like you see. And then I'm going to, once I have it all nice and even, I'm going to take the bottom of one and wrap it around the bottom. I guess just watch it. It's probably better than my explanation. Once I think I did about 20 of those. I'm going to clip off the long tails there. And then I'm going to take 2 brown ones and I'm going to connect them together, just going to twist them together. And then I'm going to start rolling them, making a circle. And you'll see me here as I'm rolling. After a little bit, I start using my hot glue to glue it. I do not recommend doing that because I had to do a new one because I could just see hot glue everywhere and it was bugging me. So I'm just going to I would recommend just rolling it like you see me doing without the hot glue. And then when you get to the end, you're going to leave a tail, and then you're going to bring hot glue all the way across it and then bring that tail over, and that just kind of holds it all in place. But be careful, wear some finger protectors because I kept burning my fingers when I was doing this. Then I'm going to take the petals. If you don't know what we're making a sunflower. And I'm going to glue all those petals along the back side of the brown round part. And then I'm going to take the second layer of petals and I'm going to go in between, behind them and in between each petal. And I saw this on Pinterest and I'm like, I want to make those. Those look fun. So I thought I would give it a try and show you guys how to make them. Now, this is a very big sunflower. There's also other ways to make smaller ones, and I probably should have made a couple of smaller ones, but maybe we'll do that on another video. I'm going to take the green Chanel stems. I folded in half, and then about a quarter way down, I kind of just did the same thing I did on the other one, but then this one I'm just going to put one of those legs in between and then twist them on the bottom. Hope that makes sense. And then I'm going to cut that one of those legs off. Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to glue them onto the back of my sunflower, just like you see, connecting all the ends together. Then I'm going to take, I think there was 4 of these. I'm going to fold them in half. I'm going to take a 5th one and fold it in half and bring it through. And it's pretty much just like we did the petals. Twist a couple of times, bring them all down. And then once I had it nice and even, I'm going to take one and wrap it around all of them. And then I'm going to cut, not all of them, I'm just going to cut, I think I left 2 or 3. And then I made 2 of those. Then I'm going to take another Chanel stem here, green one, and I'm going to wrap it around all of the leaf stems that are behind that sunflower. And then I'm going to, I think I ended up unwrapping it some because then I took a skewer. Now you probably should use wire, might be better, but I didn't have any thicker wire. And I just poked it down in there and then I rewrapped it with that green Chanel stem that I was wrapping around the leaf stems. And then I just took another one and I'm going to continue to wrap that around that skewer. And I'm just going to wrap it until it's pretty much covered. Now, I knew I was going to cut some of this skewer down, so I don't go all the way down because I knew I wasn't going to be using that whole skewer. So after I have that done, I just kind of twist it all on there. And I'm going to take my leaves that I made and I'm going to glue one on each side, just like you see me doing right here. And then, you all know who that is. What am I doing here? I guess I'm showing you this again. I don't know what I'm doing there. I think I was supposed to cut that part out. I had this little pumpkin planter thing. I found it at a thrift store years ago. And I found it in my stash, and I removed the little leaves from it and the little the hangers. I went ahead and filled the holes with my spackling, and then I painted it with spiced pumpkin. I painted the whole thing just to freshen that look up. I mean, there's not much difference in both those colors, but I just wanted it to be more fresh. And then I took some twine and I am just going to hot glue it and wrap it all around the top part to cover up those holes because I didn't put spackling over the big holes. I just did it on the little holes where the leaves were screwed into. Then when I was done, I took some floral foam, stuffed it in, and it was still sticking up. I couldn't get it all the way in, so I went ahead and used this little cutter to just kind of get that top part cut off. I'm going to put my sunflower right in there. I'm going to fill up that base with some Spanish moss. And then after I had all of that filled in, I'm going to make a 3-loop finger bow. Wrap each finger 3 times. I'm going to take that end, come around the middle, and then go through that and pull tightly. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm going to hot glue that to the front. And that's all there is for this one. I think it's really cute and it was a lot of fun to make. And there's so many flowers that you can make with Chanel stems. I see things on Pinterest all the time. We'll have to try some more in the future. Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreations. And we have Shannon who made this cute little birdhouse. I love it. It is just adorable, Shannon. Thank you so much for sharing it. And then we have Joe who made this beautiful wreath for his front door. I love it, Joe. It is just beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then we have Bonnie who made this pumpkin with a wood from a tree that fell, and she found that peduncle. I think she said at a thrift store. Anyways, it's beautiful. Thank you guys. And if you have a creation or recreation that you would like me to showcase, you can send pictures to my email address that's listed there, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Okay, DIY number 3. So I'm going to take this sign from Dollar Tree and I'm going to remove all the paper from the front. When I looked at the tag on the back, it said 2021, which was the year I started my channel. So this was probably one of those that I found that year. Anyways, once I got the first layer removed, I'm going to spritz it down with water and let it sit for about 5 minutes. I took this pumpkin as well that came from Dollar Tree. I removed the embellishments from the front, used my heat gun to remove or loosen the glue so I could remove that stand. And then this is just like burlap, and I'm just going to pull it right off the front. It comes right off, but it leaves a lot of glitter on there. So I'm just using my fingers sander to get all that glitter right off of it. And then when I was done with that, I went ahead and scraped off that paper residue from the big pumpkin, and I'm going to paint both of them with Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster. Once they were done, I thought I was recording and realized I didn't, but this is called Autumn Days. This is from Chalk Couture. I'm a Chalk Couture designer, if you don't know. And I used my painter's tape because I didn't want to use the border. And I'm going to use my chalk paste in color Bark, Saffron, Cabernet, and Marmalade. I also use an ivy green later, but I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to dab some of those colors all around. I'm going to take some of my bark color and go over the tree trunks with it, but then you'll see me here in a little bit and I will just smush all those colors together, and I just love the way this came out. It's so pretty. But if you are not familiar with Chalk Couture, these are self-adhesive stencils. We call them transfers, and we fuzz them. I'll show you that in a few minutes. The first time we use them, about 4 or 5 times, because if you don't, it will pull up the paint behind when you pull it up. So we always want to fuzz it the first time we use it. If you are interested in trying Chalk Couture out, I do have a link in my description box for my page. You can also go to chalkcouture.com and look up Rustic and Lace for a designer. And we have a couple of subscriptions. One is a monthly subscription that's $22 now, I think. I have to look. And you get an exclusive 8x11 transfer with some chalk paste and a surface to use. And you get that monthly. You can sign up for it. You cannot cancel before 3 months. You have to sign up for at least 3 months. But I always think that's a fun way to give it a try to see if it's something you like. Or we have member perks, which you sign up. It's $21 a month, I believe. And you get 30% off of everything you buy. Plus you get some other perks. But there is information there on my page about it if you're interested, or you can always give me a call or an email and ask me any questions that you might have. I'd be happy to answer them for you. But it is a fun, I love using Chalk Couture. They're a lot of fun to use, and they always look really pretty. So I'm going to remove my stencil. I'm going to go and clean that. I'm not going to show you that. You just run it under some cold running water and scrub it off. And then this is another one. This is, what is that, Country Living, I think it said. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to show you, this is how we fuzz it, because I didn't hit record when I was fuzzing my big one. I'm going to put this one on the small pumpkin. As you can see, I did the same thing on the top of the tree. This is since I'm doing different colors and I don't want the paste to dry on my silk screen, because if it dries, then when you pull it up, it comes up and you don't have a very good image. So I kind of pull up the transfer and then lay it back down and make sure that it's sealed where I'm going to be using my next color. And then I pull it up again and then I rub it down to make sure it's down, and then continue with my colors. Okay, so once I was done with all that, I took some of these bamboo sticks. I get these from Amazon. They are amazing to have because you get a ton of them and they last forever. And I'm using my miter shears to cut the ends at an angle, and then I'm going to paint them all with my Deco Art Metallic Rich Espresso. Then I'm just going to use my Titebond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue, and I'm just going to rub it along the back here of each one of them, and I'm going to frame in those pictures that we used my chalk couture on to create. And I kind of wish I would have painted in the roof of that a little bit more. I felt like it was too white. But anyways, I'm going to take my clips here once I added my glue and just held it in place for about 5 minutes. And then I decided that it was too light and needed some contrast, so I went ahead with my burnt orange by, what is that, Decor, and I'm going to paint the pumpkins with that burnt orange, and then I'm going to take Nutmeg by Folk Art and paint the peduncles, or the stems. Then I'm going to take my Titebond glue and hot glue, and I'm going to add it to the back of the peduncle of my pumpkin. I'm going to add these together, and I'm going to use a staple there because it was thick enough, and then I'm just going to add a hanger with the knots going to be in the front this time. I haven't done this for a long time. I had a viewer suggest it, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't done that for a while. I should do that. And then I'm going to take some raffia. I'm going to make a bow. I'm going to also make a bow with some twine and glue them onto the peduncle of both those pumpkins. Now I look at this hanging up and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure I really like this. So you have to tell me what you think. Yeah, you have to tell me what you think. I was just kind of unsure how I wanted to put these stencils and what I wanted to put them on, and I didn't want to do the normal thing, so I thought I would try something different. So yeah, tell me what you think of of how this came out. But anyways, I'm just gonna add some of these little leaves from Hobby Lobby to that, and that's all there was for that. I don't know, I think it looks a little like it's missing something, but you'll have to let me know in the comment box below what you think about this one. Okay, now DIY number 4. I love this one, you guys. It is so cute. Okay, and it's easy. I'm going to take one of these Dollar Tree signs. I've had this in my stash for a couple of years. I'm going to remove the hanger from it because we're not going to hang it. I'm going to tape off the inside part because I am a very messy painter. And if I don't do this, I will get paint everywhere. In fact, I still got paint not everywhere, but on some of that sign. I'm going to use my burnt orange. I love this color for fall, and I'm going to paint just the frame part in the sides here of this whole frame. Once it was dry, I removed my tape, and look at these, you guys. I got these from Amazon, and oh my goodness, they are so stinking adorable. I couldn't resist. Look at that bunny. Oh my goodness. I love them. And that deer, oh, so adorable. And even the mushrooms, and I'm not a big mushroom person. But I'm going to remove the backing from this and rub on transfer. I'm going to lay this cute, adorable scarecrow on the top of my sign. I'm going to just rub it for a few seconds here because it doesn't take very long. And then I'm going to pull up that plastic cover transfer sheet, I guess you could call it. I'm going to just remove that, and I'm going to rub as I go if I see anything lifting, but it pretty much stayed on. And then once I had that removed, I'm going to take some of my favorite braided jute cord that I get from Amazon. It is in my Amazon store. I do have a link to that as well in my description box if you are interested. And I'm going to go all around. I'm going to glue this all around the sign. I will try to have a link to those rub-on transfers in there as well. So I had these bag of pumpkins that I bought. They were $3.99, but they're 40% off of that. So what, to something, I don't know. I can't think that quick. And I'm going to paint the front of them with Spiced Pumpkin by Decor Art. I'm going to paint the peduncles, or the stems, whatever you want to call them, with the nutmeg. And then once they were dry, I just took a leaf and glued it to each corner here. I just thought it matched perfectly with the leaves in the picture. And then I'm going to take those pumpkins and glue one to each corner as well. And then after I had that all done, I'm just going to take 2 of these bigger tumbling tower blocks. These came from Five Below. I'm going to glue them together end to end. Then I'm going to use my wood glue and hot glue along the side. And I'm going to glue that to the back of my picture so that it will stand. And there we go. And then after that, I just took some more of that jute cord that I love. I made it just a regular shoot string bow, and then I'm going to glue that to the top That's all there is for this one. I just think it's stinking adorable. You'll have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And which one was your favorite today? And will you be recreating any of them? The final reveal is coming right up. I will be back again on Monday for the Just Our Imagination Challenge already. It's kind of early this month, but I'm looking forward to it. I know what I'm going to make, so I'm excited about it. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you give me that thumbs up and comment and share this video if you'd like before you go. And if you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button, become part of our YouTube family. And with all that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.